All right, what's up YouTube? What's up traders? Good to see you again. You know by the title of the video already, we're back. We're gonna do another really controversial video. Today we're gonna be looking at Mamba FX. I've already looked at a couple of this guy's stuff. I think he's another person that's got a little bit of controversy around him. I'm actually kind of liking him. He's kind of funny in the starts of the video. So let's see, he just posted a new video here on a strategy, so let's see what kind of strategy he actually can come up with. Alright, first of all guys, this is a strategy, he says specifically for small trading accounts, so let's see how it goes. First, I wanted to just notice, I've seen this photo before. I've seen that before. I think that's in Trader Nick's apartment or studio or whatever. Also, I think this is a really cool photo. I would actually love something like that, maybe up on the wall too. But obviously not that same one. But that would be really cool actually. Let's jump into it, guys.
What's popping with you guys, man? I hope you guys are all having a great day. I hope you guys are having a good trading week. I know right now is Memorial Weekend, so it's kind of like not a good time to trade, but I know it's been a while since I've been on here, and just gonna keep it real honest with you guys. I've been eating a lot of booty. No, but to keep it real with you guys, real life problems have kind of piled up for me, so I really wasn't able to post much. I wasn't able to do a lot, interact with you guys like I was doing. So
see, this is what I mean, guys. This is every intro. He does something really funny, and I watched a couple of them, and I just basically watched the intros just to see which intro was funny. And this is another one. This is good, man. I kind of like it.
Consistently at first, because you guys have to understand, I'm human just like you guys are human. We're all human, so I do have real life shit that happens to me, and I have to take care of that sometimes, and it's kind of just what happened. With that being said, I am back. I'm sending signals to the free chat, so make sure you go down below, join the free chat. If you don't want to join VIP, that's fine, it doesn't matter to me. But the free chat, we're at like 20,000 members on there. Join that free chat, because I'm going to start setting up markups and signals again. I don't really like to call these things signals, because they're more of like markups with the take profit and the stop loss that's suggested. That way you guys can actually learn, instead of just input some dumb numbers, you guys will learn from it. But it will basically be a signal for now on again, so.
Yeah, man. So far, the first impressions of this guy, he's kind of a funny guy, and he's actually talking about his real life stuff, which you know, I'm kind of maybe going through a couple things here and there occasionally, and it's you know, obviously it's really tough when you have trading as a job, and you have to be able to prove yourself to you know, YouTube and whatnot, and things like this. So I totally understand. You know, maybe he took a break for a little while there, just because the stress might be getting to him. But that's really cool that he's got 20,000 in his signal group. I wonder if his signal group is actually good. So maybe we'll actually check out his signals at some point, and do a video on that. Maybe if he wants to contact me and let me actually test them. I'd like people's approval before I go in and just test them, or at least I tell them that I'm going to test it or something like this. I think that'd make for a really cool series later on.
It is what it is. I love you guys. I mean, you know, booty eating course is coming soon. I already told you guys that. I don't really know what else there is to happen. I definitely miss doing this. I miss making.
This guy reminds me of Vitaly, if you guys know what that guy is.
And see how much you guys are making from me?
I trust him.
No. I gotta go back to that, because seeing you guys make all that money and grow your accounts with me is fucking ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Like the first thing he said there about his subscribers actually showing him some of the profits. I think it's super cool when you know, obviously I'm not doing the signals right now. I'm doing just kind of teaching people some stuff, and a lot of people message me too saying that, you know, what I've taught them has helped them get the FTMO challenge beaten, something like this, and it's a really great feeling. So that's like part of the reason. Like I totally understand where he's coming from there.
It's going to show you guys how to grow these smaller accounts, and pretty much just kind of, you know, a little confirmation strategy that's going to be very simple to use, very simple to learn, so you guys can start right away and start practicing this, and hopefully within the next month, hey, who knows, you might be a god at this strategy. That being said, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the video.
Let's go, man, let's go. My one thing is, I wonder why it seems really weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the people I hang out with, but the way that a lot of these Forex traders dress, like a gangster type thing. I don't know if that's like an offensive word or something like to him or whatever, but it's just it's kind of weird, man. I don't know why. I shouldn't say anything about it, but it's just kind of something I noticed. Like a lot of these Forex traders, they kind of dress the same, like flashy clothes and stuff like this. I don't. Maybe I'll start dressing that way once I get actually better at Forex. So we'll see.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and go over this quick little strategy, and pretty much all this is going to be called is like a 2 confirmation strategy. And anytime you see 2 of these confirmations together, basically, is you're going to get in the trade, you're going to have a good stop loss with a very high take profit, and you're going to continue to do this exact same strategy over and over again throughout the week with profitable setups, and overall, you're going to see major growth. Okay, so
sounds promising.
Damn.
Let's do it.
First things first. Okay, what do we see here? Right? Check this out. Boom. We can see that we are in an uptrend, right? But why would we get in this trade just off of 1 confirmation? Yeah, we're in an uptrend, that's cool. But is this trend line really enough power to know that we should buy here?
Man. That's
absolutely
useless.
not. But what else do we see here? Check this out, okay? We saw a rejection to the downside on a beautiful support that used to be resistance. So now what? We have 2 confirmations, and now we can get in this trade. So check this out. We saw that rejection, okay? Our stop loss can be just below this little zone, right? Because if it breaks below this support, most likely it's going to continue down, right? Because it's just broke below a major, support that used to be resistance. So let's just put it right below for about 23 pips, okay? And what are we going to target, okay? We could have easily targeted this area. We could have targeted this area. Why this area, you might ask? Because of this. Okay, look at all this build up right here. Okay, this is a spot where, price interacted a lot. So we could easily have targeted that, okay? We could have targeted up here on this double top. Never would have got hit, but, it is what it is. I personally would have, stops to break even around this area. Or, whatever. You just stops to break even once you see it's kind of pretty much hit a spot where support or resistance was made. And just monitor it a lot. Keep watching it. That's a very important part. But, okay, first take profit. Second take profit right here because of this. Right in this area, boom. Okay, just monitor these things. Look for that support and resistance as your take profits, and then kind of just
All right, so quick note here. I had to pause the video there. He's talking a lot about the take profits, which honestly, your take profit is the least important thing of your trade. Your most important is where's your stop. Second most important is where's your entry, right? And third most important is your take profit. And he's really he's talking about the take profit in a very vague way, which is fine. He's just kind of saying you can put it anywhere around here. Like it looks like there was a lot of action there before, so take profit around there. And it's not like a really decisive way to trade. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that as a take profit, but I would prefer to use some sort of strict rule. So, over here, I would say, okay, that's the untested supply zone. So that's why I'm taking profit at that zone, or the previous highs or something like that. Not just, it seems like there's a lot of action there. It seems it's very hard for new traders to at least pick up on what you're trying to teach them, right? Because they need to follow these set rules. And in terms of the entry, he just kind of skipped over this. Hopefully he gives some more examples because I'm super confused on why he entered there, other than it just simply bounced on an SR flip. And you have no idea if that's actually going to be a bounce on the SR flip. You just simply see it's an uptrend, right? Which is drawn arbitrarily with a trend line, just loosely. And then you see a bounce. Where are you entering? Are you entering on that wick? That wick could have easily come down, retested the previous demand zones here, and then stopped you out and then kept going. So I don't understand the logic of the entry, so hopefully he gives another example here.
Adjust your stop loss and follow it all the way so you can get your max growth. But never leave anything on the table, okay? Remember that. Never, ever, if you're up 45 pips, never just let it run. You have to put your stops to break even. You have to adjust your stops and follow it. That is a very important part about this, okay? So,
I don't know if
with that being said, this would have been a 93 pip take profit for a 23 pip stop loss. Okay, it's a 1 to 4. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go look for something else real quick. Okay, so this is an okay setup. We can see that we are in a pretty broken market structure. So look, we have a steep trend, very steep trend. We have, what else do we have? Let's look for another confirmation. Look at this. Look at this beautiful little support that's now resistance. Just beautiful, right? 2 confirmations. Steep trend. We also see that we have pretty much projected a prior support, which is now resistance. But what else do we see, guys? Look at this. Market structure was broken. This little support that it kind of made. Okay, I'll arrow this out so you guys can see it. This little support was made here. Boom, boom. It then broke below, came back to retest, broke above, and now plummeted. Okay, but we could see that little support was broken, so price does want to go to the downside. It has a strong downside push. It's just coming back to breathe for a little bit before shooting down. There's 3 confirmations for you right there. How could we have gotten in this with our stops and take?
All right, so once again, guys, I gotta pause. I gotta jump in on this, and I gotta comment on it again. The problem that I'm seeing right away with this strategy is he's using SR flips a lot, and I noticed, I looked at a couple of his other videos really quickly, and he does use SR flips a lot, and he does have a good foundation of how to trade, but the problem I'm seeing with the actual strategy is that when you're seeing the bounce off of the SR flip, he's saying that, okay, after you see the rejection, then you enter. But you can't enter the second it starts rejecting, because in the current situation, you won't even know it's a rejection until you see this large candle close down here, right? And then what do? So he's not adding extra info, because you can't just enter on that candle close and then target lows here, because then your trade is going to be a very low risk reward trade. It's going to be very risky for you after you see that giant move. So the next thing that you could do to add to his strategy, and hopefully it makes it better, you know, if you guys watch this, you guys might be able to use it, is after you see the rejection, wait for that pullback and then enter on the retest of that supply zone. And I imagine if we jump back to the previous example here, this example, you would have actually missed the trade, because you would have seen that engulfing candle off of that zone, and then you would have waited for the pullback, which generally they will pull back if it's untested, and then that's where I would have entered, and then you could have had a decent R trade going into it. So let's just kind of jump back to here.
How could we have gotten in this with our stops and take profits though? Okay, once we saw the rejections on this beautiful resistance, what do? Okay, stop loss just above, because if it breaks above that, we know price is probably going to continue. So this is where my take profit would have been. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you guys. Take profit would have been here, but why would my take profit be?
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, is he's actually teaching something different than what he's showing on the chart. He's saying that he's just blindly entering on an SR flip, right? But that's not using what he just told you. He told you to wait for 2 confirmations at least, right? So his first confirmation here was the trend line, and the second confirmation is the rejection off of the SR flip. But if he's entering immediately on this test, then he's entering prematurely. So he's actually not doing what he's teaching. So I don't know if there's something more to the strategy, or he's just a bad teacher, or he's going to explain it some more later. But he's got, you know, at least some sort of solid understanding of how the market works here.
Here, because look at this support. Boom. Take profit smash for 55 pips, 19 pips stop loss. That is a 1-to-3 ratio. Okay, so let's continue to look for some double confirmation moves. Right here, we are in another steep trend, right? What do we have here? Boom. We have a support that used to be a resistance being formed. Very simple. Very simple. It's very simple. It's not hard to understand. You saw the rejections. You could have targeted different zones. We'll put our stops just below that zone. We know we're in an uptrend. We also know that we just created a nice support on a resistance, and we could have targeted this zone. We could have targeted down in here because of this. Right here. Boom.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna target it right there for 66 pips, 13 pip stop loss. That is a 1 to 4.5 ratio. Okay, so what am I getting at with these strategies? They're very simple to find, and
So, again, guys, here, let's just make his strategy better, because I actually know a couple ways to trade, basically how he's trading. First of all, he's defining trend very roughly by just drawing a line. And that's not how I define trend. I define trend based off of the closures of the candles. And there's a very strict ruling, so I would define the trend change being actually at this candle. If you're interested in how I actually know that, is you can jump in and watch the streams. I can explain that stuff to you there. But the next thing that we can note is we're seeing this previous low right here, and then after it's getting swept and then it's breaking back within the range, we can actually take that as a strong indication that this is going to be the level that it's going to reject off of, and then we can actually enter on that, right? The third thing that's actually going to make this even stronger is waiting for that retest. So we see the bounce off of that SR flip, and then we wait for a retest of this, and I guarantee this is a hidden demand zone right here. If you look at that wick, if you zoom in on a smaller time frame, that's going to be a consolidation zone at the very bottom, and you see it wicked perfectly to that level. Again, guys, this is stuff I can kind of teach you on the stream. I won't go into detail while I'm reviewing this guy's trading style, but again, there's a lot of work to be done on this strategy, and what he's teaching is just very good at looking back at the market, what seems, and basically explaining that, oh yes, this strategy works, but then when you come up to it, the actual day of trading, you're going to have a lot of stop outs because you're not actually following these core principles. And I dare you guys, you can go back test it on your own. Make sure that you're actually back testing properly, so you're going candle by candle, and see if you can actually make this work based off of how he's explained it.
you can lose a few of them. You could lose a few trades, and then you can win a trade and be broke even. So overall, you have to be positive. If you're plotting these the right way, you have to be positive overall. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a simple strategy. It's just a 2 confirmation strategy that is going to, it's going to change the game for you if you can really plot these things and pretty much just, go from there. And when it comes to like the time frames and what you're going to look at, I would look at the hourly and the 4 hourly. I wouldn't look at anything smaller with this strategy. I have other strategies where you do, but with this strategy, these specific strategies, 2 confirmations, I'm going with the 4 hour and the 1 hour, okay? So let's see if we can find one more, right? Let's see, let's just go through real quick. Well, obviously you can see here we've started a trend. Not only that, we actually broke through all this market structure, came back to retest the area. We could have easily got in here because we saw that, look at this, support on this little trend that was made, right? We saw support be made on a trend after it already had broke through all this market structure. All this market structure was broke, okay? So what could we have done here? We could have got in for a long position here. We could have targeted this area because of what? Because of this little support.
Again, guys, I kind of just got to stop it right here. There's no way that you're going to guess this unless you're basing it off of this demand zone somehow. Unless you're blindly putting an order there, which could work. It could work if this is a really good level, right? But who says it wasn't going to bounce off of this one? Who says it wasn't going to bounce off of this one, right? So you basically have a 1 in 3 chance to guess it right on that bounce, right? You're not going to be able to guess the very bottom after it bounces off this slightly, because it's always going to bounce slightly and then continue down at every single level, just like it basically did here. I guess it's a little bit behind, but you can see every single level it's going to bounce a little bit, and then it's going to trick you. You're going to enter maybe, and then it's going to go down even further. So the way I would have looked at this is I would have actually seen that after we're sweeping this low here, I think he could even just be explaining it very poorly. So we're sweeping these lows with this candle, and then we're closing bullish right back up top. Now you have two options. Is first of all, you actually had to wait for this first candle to close because you have no idea where it's going to close. It could bounce up and then wick down really quickly. But I think the best option is to wait for this retest. So after you see all of this engulfing bullishness, after that broken market structure that he talks about, you draw your orders here, and then you put your stop there, and you wait for the retest of this demand zone. Simply a very similar way that you would have done it here, except this is not as strong because we didn't know which level it was going to bounce off of. For here, there's obviously only one level that it can bounce off of, so that's where you would put your entry.
Resistance, boom. So we could have targeted that area. Stops just below this trend slash zone. Okay, it's a 30 pip stop loss for 152 take profit. That is a 125. Guys, it's not rocket science. It's very simple. You're just looking for two confirmations because those two confirmations it's going to boost your odds so much. I mean, you already have a chance, right? Just by placing a trade, you already have pretty much a 50-50 chance, depending on your ratios, of course. You already have a 50-50% chance that it's going to go your way. But when you add a support and you add a trend line together, now you have two confirmations to pretty much boost your chances of it going your way. Now you have double the chance it's going to go your way because now you're looking at different things in the market that are showing you it's going to go your way. But it's not just about, okay, one or two trades you won, you're good. No, you have to be consistent and keep on doing it. Keep trading this. Keep using this strategy over and over and over again and let it hit your take profit. Let it hit your stop losses.
All right, guys, I had to cut it off there. I think that's basically all of the video. There's not probably much more for it. I just want to reiterate, his strategy is very either simple or it's not defined well enough that I don't think that somebody watching this is actually going to be able to apply. If he's actually able to be profitable with this, let's assume that he is profitable with this strategy. I think how he's teaching it is not going to be usable by somebody watching this video. I think the better way to teach basically what this is a trend-based retest strategy, right? So the better way to look at something like this is to just follow the trend, wait for the order block retests, and then look at the smaller time frame and look for those reversals to confirm that the trend is actually changing on that smaller time frame, and then you can get a really tighter stop. All right, guys, that's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit hopefully nicer. Maybe we will get some better feedback on this video. If anybody actually knows, maybe I'm actually reading this wrong and I'm not actually understanding how he's trying to explain it, go ahead, put it in the comment section below. Let me know if this actually works for you. Also, feel free to backtest it for yourself. I please advise backtest every single strategy you hear online instead of just trusting, these talking heads such as myself. See you guys next time.
Listen.